So for example, if you are using a keyboard or a mouse, whenever you use a keyboard or a mouse or even a computer, it is made up of layers of abstraction. Now what are layers of abstraction? For example, if we have a mouse, you don't know what is how the sensor works or how the scroll bar works. You just know that if you move the mouse, it will move the cursor, and when you click on it, it will open something. What is the actual meaning of abstraction? So abstraction basically means is that we are hiding the details from the user. We are hiding the implementation inside the process from the user. We don't know what is happening inside the mouse. For example, if we take a computer, we have a GPU, we have a CPU, we have a graphic card inside, then we have a chip processor, and after that we have a keyboard, then we have a mouse, then we have a monitor, and after that if we assemble everything, we get a full-fledged computer that we can use afterwards. So we don't know what's happening inside the computer, how Windows is installing itself, and also how the GPU is working, what company chip has been used inside the GPU, the fan inside the CPU is of which company, and how does it work. We don't know all about those things, and that's what abstraction means. We are just hiding the details from the user, from the outside world, so that the user gets a good experience. And for example, if we have Facebook, and if you are shown a message and it shows that the file has been sent, you would feel that what is this, why it is showing that a file has been sent, it should directly show the message. So that's why Facebook is hiding the details from you. It is implementing abstraction in sending files, and whenever it shows you the message, and every process, for example, if you are even using Windows, you don't see the processes that are happening behind the hood inside Windows, and it is an abstraction concept basically. So abstraction in oops, basically, as you can see, that we have made some classes inside our class employee, then we have made some global variables, then we had made constructor, then we had made a function, class methods, and static methods. So these are some of the functions by which we are putting it inside a class, and after that we are hiding the details of these functions from the user. So for example, if I give you this class named employee, and if I give you a class named a game player, now this game player, it contains some functions. For example, it contains a sit function, that is when you run that function, the player sits inside the game, and then when you click on the shoot function, it shoots to other players. So for example, these are some of the functions that the class consists. And if I give it to you, and if I tell you that you don't have to look into these functions, about what these functions do, about how they work, and about how it is implemented, you just have to use these functions, and you do not basically have to care about the implementation. So that is known as abstraction. Now what is encapsulation? Encapsulation basically means that you are putting the variables, functions, and everything, class methods to static methods, inside a particular class. So you can make instances of this particular class, and after that you can use that, you can use its functions. And this is basically a concept of encapsulation. That is, when you make some functions and you want to put it inside a class, so that whenever you give it to some other user, he can just use those functions with the help of that class by making an object. So the way you are putting everything, the way you are putting the global variables inside a class, some functions, the constructors, and these class methods, you are putting inside a single space, so that is known as encapsulation. Whereas abstraction, it's basically just hiding the details from the user. So as I give you an example for the GPU, when a user clicks on the keyboard, he doesn't know what is happening behind the hood, and that is abstraction. But there are many processes, and for example, if I click on A, and it just prints right here, as you can see, A. So when I pressed A, there are so many processes happening behind the hood that I don't know. And for example, if the makers of this product, that is Windows, if they had coded that, for example, if the user clicks on A, there are a bunch of classes that are going to be deployed, and after that we are going to print A on the screen. And for example, you can understand it in this way, that basically we are just grouping some functions and variables inside a particular space in order to make it easier for the user to use it. So in that way, what we can do is that we can perform encapsulation in Python. And I'm not going to write any code in this video. I'm just going to tell you what is the concept behind these two terms and how it basically works in Python. So if you have a game that consists of a tree, and for example if it's a real world game, a real world city, then it consists of a tree, it consists of some buildings, and most importantly the players and the other players. So we can make different classes for the players, and after that we can make different classes for the trees, and we can store it inside a particular section of the code. Then what we can do is that we can make variables for the players, and after that we can store those variables in some classes, and then we can put some functions for those players. For example, as I told you that we can put set function, then we can put shoot function. Then for example if I want to make the tree move, that is if I want to make the tree shake when the player shoots it, what we can do is that we can make a function that makes the tree move from time to time. And like that we are just keeping the tree functions inside the tree class, and we are keeping the player functions inside the player class. So in that way we are encapsulating the functions and the variables inside some particular classes. And abstraction, as I told you, I cannot stop reiterating that it is just the hiding of details from the user. So I hope guys that you understood everything in today's video. I hope these examples they make sense, and I hope you understood the concept of encapsulation and abstraction. You can look at the definition and the meaning of these both terms on Google, but my sole purpose for today's video was to make you understand about these terms. So I hope guys that you understood everything in today's video. If you haven't accessed my Python for Absolute Beginners playlist, the link is in the description. And guys, I encourage you to please comment down on my videos and interact with me. If you don't understand anything, I am more than happy in order to help you. And if you have any doubts, you can comment down and I will be there to help you. So thank you so much guys for watching this video. I hope you're safe, and I'll see you next time.